Today, we're going to talk about buttons for your design system. So let's get into it. Okay, so before we start, in case you missed my previous two videos and you don't know what I'm talking about, I linked them down in the description. But basically what we're doing is we're trying to create a design system that you can reuse in Figma. So now we've added into our design system like typography and the colors, and now we're gonna take care of the buttons. So if we look at the screen, you'll see that I prepared here a page where we're gonna add our buttons and input fields. But before we do that, because we want this to be a fully fledged design system, we will need to do something before that. And that is creating styles for our text and our colors. And how do we do that? Like, to do that, it's super simple. You just select the text, and then afterwards you go here on the right side where you have these 4 dots, you click on it, you click this plus, and then afterwards here you give your style a name, for example, body text, and then you hit create style. I've done already this for my typography, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna skip the video and do exactly the same for my primary colors. But before that, let me show you how I name my styles for the colors. So for example, if we have primary, secondary, and grays, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on the color that I have for my design system, hit these 4 dots, and then afterwards I'm gonna name this primary, and I'm gonna name this, just a second, primary, and then it's gonna be 1. And I'm gonna create this style. And I'm gonna do this for all these colors. So this will be primary 2, primary 3, primary 4, primary 5, and so on. And then I'm gonna go secondary, grays, success, warnings, and errors. The thing is, once you do that, you'll never need to redo it again. So this you'll only do it once. So let's skip this part, and then we're gonna get back to our buttons part. Okay, so as you can see, I finished adding my color styles here on the left, and I've created all the color styles for everything that I have here. And now basically we're ready to go. So in order to create a button, it's pretty simple. I think everyone knows by now, being the fact that you're watching this design system tutorial, I presume you already know. But yeah, we're just gonna create a rectangle. But here's the kicker. That's why I wanted to create the styles first, because I want these buttons to be linked to my primary colors, so that every single time I'm gonna change the design system for a new project, the buttons will automatically update. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give this rectangle a style, and I'm gonna give it primary 1. So this way I know that every single time I'm going to change the primary color from my styles, all my design system and all the elements that I'm going to create from now on will update automatically without me needing to update everything manually. So once we add the style, we're going to add a text, which is going to be whatever you want to do, want to write. I'm gonna get this, and then afterwards, same thing as we did for the colors, I'm gonna apply a text style. So for this, I'm gonna use body regular. I'm gonna change its color to white just because it looks better, but also make sure that, I'm not sure if this is accessible, but yeah, you should test that before you do the final design system. But for now, for demonstration purposes, I don't think we're gonna need that. So you just select these 2, you want to group them, make sure that this is properly aligned inside our rectangle, and then afterwards add some constraints like auto layout, and make sure everything is nice and neat. This is 70 pixels, and I would like this to have 80 pixels. So these are the sizes that I normally use in my design systems. So it's 80 pixels, 70 pixels, 60, 50, and 44. 44 being the minimum that I personally recommend you to use for mobile or any other type of designs, just to make sure that it's accessible. So just because we want this to be 10 pixels higher, we're gonna add 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on top, and 5 on the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. We have our 80 pixel call to action.
just gonna copy this by holding Option key on the keyboard and just dragging it. And then afterwards, we're gonna make this 5 pixels shorter. This, and we're gonna repeat this process for all our buttons. It's simple. You can either do the math or you can just be lazy like me and just count the number of clicks. So you have 60 here, then we need 50. Five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And the last one is 3 pixels in different, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Now, oops, we have all the call to actions that we need for our design system. And let me show you what will happen if we decide to change the primary color for this design system. So if I want to change this, I'm just gonna go click on it. Here I'm gonna see the styles on my right side. Just gonna click on the style, and I'm gonna have this kind of edit style button. I'm gonna click on it. I'm gonna select my new color for my new project, right? And let's say that will be blue or whatever color we want. And that will change the call to actions on our design system. And imagine if you use the same call to actions to create other components, those components will be automatically updated. And it's the same for the typography. So that's why we create styles before we create the elements. So this way you can easily update the design system for all the future projects that you will have. But for now, let's just go back, Control Z, just leave it as it is. Now we're gonna do some basic input fields. And for that, we do exactly the same as we did for the button. So we're just gonna grab a rectangle or clicking R on our keyboard, and we're gonna give it a stroke. That's going to be, let's say, a light gray. The fill will be white. We'll need to add some text. We can either copy and paste this one, which will be a lot easier. Oops, okay, put it here. We're gonna give it a color, or we can actually, change it again. So detach it from our textile and then add the textile again, and that should change the color back to black. Cool. Now, what we will need here, so let's say that this will be like a search box. So this is going to be here, and we will need an icon. That I'm just gonna use a flat icon. I really recommend this website. It's really cool, and you can get free icons. We're just gonna click on the search icon, download the SVG. I'm gonna wait for Google to download it, and then afterwards we're just gonna hold and drag this here, put it inside our search. Usually I recommend using icons that are at least 24 pixels in width or height. So yeah, we can add this here. So this is gonna be 24 pixels. We're gonna add this here. Okay, and now what we're going to do, we're gonna just select all of these. We're gonna group them using Command G, and then afterwards we're gonna add the auto layout. The auto layout will make sure that everything sits properly and it's nice all the time, even when we're gonna stretch this box. So that's what we wanna do. So once we did that, I just wanna make sure that this is properly aligned. Let me see. Oh, okay. We changed the alignment to center. So now everything is centered and aligned. And now everything should be fine. We're just gonna stretch this a bit. Oops. Okay, I'm just gonna stretch this just a bit, align the text on the left, and voila. Now, if we stretch it, it will work. The only thing is that this icon should be on the right side and this one should be on the left side. So in order to do that, we will need to add a couple of more constraints. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna click on the search and I'm gonna add the constraint to fill container. And what that will do is we'll push this text to always fill the container, and this one will always stay on the right. So now if I click on this and if I drag it, we have our fully functional
search input field, which is super nice. So we said that we want the height of this one to be 68 pixels. So now to be 80 pixels, sorry, and now it's 68. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna click on the auto layout and we're just gonna add some padding until we get to 80 pixels. Let me just see. Oops, it's 27, 28, and 28. Cool. So now this is 80 pixels. And we repeat the process that we did for our, in case the text is just getting squashed a bit, just need to double click on this one and make the text larger. Okay. So yeah, this is gonna be 80 pixels, and then we're gonna add the one at 70 pixels. Let's see if we can make this a tad smaller. Search, okay, and we're just gonna subtract again 5 pixels, and we're gonna repeat the exact same process we did for the other ones, holding Alt and just readjusting the padding till we get to our desired height. I'm gonna do this for 60 pixels. Let's just drag these a bit. 50 and 44. And 44 here. Yeah, probably I'll need to rearrange things a bit. But don't worry, your file will look better than this one because I will link the file that I'm working on now in the description for you to download in case you just want the file and you don't want to do the entire process. Cool, so now we have everything done. So yeah, this is how you create the buttons and input fields for your design system. So you have now the typography, you have the colors, you have the buttons and the input fields. We call these in our terms like atoms. So with these atoms, you're gonna be able to create components that are more complex that you can reuse over and over again, like pop-up screens or certain sections for a website. So you basically can create everything from here. This is the base that you need. And from now on, you can just use this base to create components and just expand your design system as much as you want. So yeah, this is it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I apologize for the delay from the previous 2 videos, but I've been traveling with work and everything, and I did not have time to record anything. So in case you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and also let me know what you would like to see next in terms of tutorials. Also, I will add another video about this design system and how I personally use it. I'm going to show you what components I create, so you can have an idea of how I use this in all my projects with my clients and with my agency. So till next time, crack on with your designs, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.